Good morning to all of you guys, girls. Let's just say folks. I don't particularly mean by guys. This is just a guy channel, a men's channel. It's just the way I'm talking. I think a lot of men might be a little bit maybe more interested in this, but there is some women as well interested. Anyway, good morning to you all. Yesterday I started building this barbecue, the inside of the barbecue, the Braai, and let me just show you where we are. So this is us there. I've welded up the bottom grid, as you may remember, and then the top I need to finish it off still. There's some welding to clean up still, but then the top slides out and on different heights depending on the heat you want when the coals are ready. I need to make on the bottom a pan for the ashes, because you make your fire on this grill here and the ashes are supposed to drop out on the bottom. I'm not particularly keen on cleaning this thing out all the time. You know, I will clean it, I will keep it nice and tidy, but it makes it a bit easier if all your ashes drop in a pan, and you can just tip it out. Okay, so that's that. One thing I have noticed, and I'm not too sure if it's due to my plastering. I haven't plastered in ages, and again, I'm not really professional, it's not my trade. The legs are a little bit uneven. If I pull this forward a little, it wobbles a little. You can see a gap here, so I want to trim one of the legs down, just to have it sitting steady. This thing, let me tell you, it's quite heavy. I do like stuff heavy and sturdy, but that is basically it. You remember I said I don't have, unfortunately, enough of this mesh, this wire. By the way, it's about an inch thick, an eighth of an inch thick, which is about 3 mil, galvanized grit. That, as I said, I got it off a job. The guy was so nice to give it to me, but so I end up having it a bit shorter. You know what, it will still do the job. The idea of this was just temporary, but looking at it now, it might be a little bit more permanent than I planned for at first, because it sort of worked there. Now if I pull back, I hope the sun is not going to bother you too much. Let me hold my hand over there. It sort of work. I mean, I might just center that contraption out, put it towards the center. Another thing that I might do also on the inside, I have slope the back up, and on the inside of that it's curved. Now the idea of the chimney is that my wife read up somewhere and she showed me, and I don't have that much experience in that either, but it sort of makes sense in a sense that the air will draw itself out, you know, the flow will draw itself out. So hopefully that works, but I might have to put, that's what I'm getting to, a flap in there to control it. If the draw is too much, you know, it will just burn out the fire too quick and you will just lose all of your heat. So I might have to put a flap in there at some stage, and then on the top I want to put a hood on, you know, just to cover it for rain coming down, especially as I got on the back. Like I said, I've got a little indent in the back. Well, it's quite deep, it's probably about 6 inches deep, to create that flow thing. And I don't really want that to fill up with water. I'm sure that will obstruct the idea of it all. So I might have to put a flap in there, and I might have to put a hood on the top. I think I will put a hood on the top. It will be, well, the idea is just a simple square hood out of some metal. I haven't measured anything up there. So my thing for today is I want to cut these one of these legs so it sits a bit more sturdy. I'll do some measurements, make a pan, and then I want to cap the bottom of the legs up. So, you know, at the moment it's just a tubing straight on the plaster, just to stop it from digging in. Can't put any rubber or anything like that in there. It will just burn away and you'll have rubber tasting meat, which I don't want. And once I've done that, I will start lighting the fire to clean these grills up, you know, burn the galvanize off, good old fire, before I be able to use it for actually barbecuing or braaiing. So that's it, guys, just a little intro. I have to say again, thank you for all the likes, all the subscriptions. There you see the old workshop in the back. Thank you, guys, I really appreciate it. I'm feeling very humble by all of your interest. This you know, this makes my heart pump very quick. Thank you, out of the deepness of my heart. And like I said, I'm not at any level of getting any money out of this at the moment anyway. So, when I start, if you know, I will probably get pennies anyway. This is more my showing you what I'm doing. It's just what I'm doing anyway, what I would have done anyway, and just showing you what I've done. Okay, so this is quite heavy. It takes me, it's quite a job to get it in and out. I have, just for a little bit of background information, I don't think any of you probably know, I have an accident quite a few years ago. I struggled with my back anyway. At the end, we went to Wales, and I end up, it was just a little break, and I end up falling down a cliff. And according to the Coast Guard, it was 150 foot. It's about 50 meters, just under 50 meters. I have survived that somehow. I think there was somebody looking over me anyway. But my body is a little bit broken, and I've got all sorts of problems, but it doesn't matter. I'm a lot healthier than a lot of guys, as you can see. I don't know if you can see my wrist. I've got some metal in there. I've got a lump on there, but everything works okay-ish, and I'm grateful I could still work, I could still do things. It just slows me down a little, and I'm drinking a couple of more tablets. So yeah, I'm all okay, but yeah, it just slows me down a little. Just a little bit of background again. So let's get on with it. So I measured it as about 8 mil, and I'm just going to cut it with a grinder, about 8 mil off the back of the legs. That will even the front out and make it look better there as well. Alright. So change the old cutting disc, or this wheel, to a cutting disc. Come on. Old Murphy. Guys, I tell you, last night I was pretty knackered. Welding and everything, you know, working with metal. I haven't done it in a while. Saying that, I'm probably lying. Welding, I'm not doing it every day. I'm not used to it. I'm not very old. I've got some high miles, as I always tell people, and it sort of catch up on your life, you know, all the things that happen with you and things you've gone through. And yeah, I was pretty tired last night, but all in all, I'm pretty pleased with this. I'll just cut this, put the caps on the bottom of the legs, and then go around with the flapper disc. I've got some more newer ones maybe, and clean it up a little. I'm not too sure if I will paint it. Probably need to paint it if you want to paint it with some sort of oven paint. I might have some even. I'll have a look through my stash. I've got some old stuff that's probably left over from the motorbike that I built, that I used for the exhaust. I think it was the oven inside or oven paint that I used on the exhaust. That might even work. Saying that, I'll probably want to burn the galvanize off first before I do that. Otherwise I'll just cover it up and it's not probably going to work. Anyways, back to it. I'm talking too much again. Usually I'm actually, I wouldn't say shy, maybe a little shy. I mean, my English is not the best, as you probably know by now. I can make myself understandable, but I get around people sometimes and they got all of these, you know, oh, you can't see my face again. They got all of these degrees and stuff, and I feel like a dumbass. I don't really know what they're talking about, all of these banking figures and all of this. I work with my hands. I'm a very simple man, and I'm you know, I don't feel like I'm a lesser person than them at all, but we're not talking the same language, it seems. Saying that, you've seen pictures of and a little bit of video clippage of my wife, Mrs. Rusty, we call her, and let me tell you, she's got a good old heart, a young heart, let's say that. I'll get into trouble again. She's got a good heart and she's clever, let me tell you that. She's got her own business, by the way. She's doing well, she's got a master's in learning disabilities, and she's helping kids and adults, all sorts of people who struggles, people who want to, you know, change their career, start studying again, and they suddenly felt, just like me, maybe not really up for what they signed up for, you know, struggling with their studies. You know, a lot of times it's just the way that it's explained. There's a lot of learning around people. When I was in school, the old days, you were either clever or stupid, and I was some of the latter. Of course, yeah, I did struggle to study a little. I wish I knew her then, and I might have had a lot better results with my schooling. And I've done some studies, some more certificates I got after school. But yeah, she's very gentle, she's very clever. I'll just if you're interested, I'll put a link to her website. She's very busy. It's quite a new business as well, but she's very busy. She's doing really well. I believe I was carrying her a little with my work and finances when I still had work, you know, full-time work, and I believe that's coming back anyway. So this is just temporary, not this channel, but me having a lot more time at home, and luckily her business picked up a lot. She's going on now for just over a year that she's on her own. She was a head teacher for a school, a private school she was working in, and yeah, anyways, things happens as they are supposed to. We are grateful for that, and we make do with what we got, and we are still blessed a lot more than a lot of other people. I do feel sorry for a lot of guys, especially in the film industry, but because that's where I do my work usually. But even a lot of other people who struggle with their finances, and a lot of people who lost the willpower to carry on. I know the feeling. It's, the mind is a funny thing, but you know, I started this off, and yeah, it's very inspirational to see people that are interested in what I'm doing. Thank you again. Anyways, bubbling away. I'll carry on. Okay guys, I bought a grill back in. I never cleaned it up, so you can see the welds. So I want to clean it up, and then on the front I want to put some sort of handles on it. You want to pull it out and change it. I'm not sure if I'll cover the old metal up, because you really need some heat resistant stuff, which I don't have. I've got some tubes here. I think I only need one. I'll have a scrub in as well. So I'll put that there, another one there. That might do the job. I think it will. So I'll cut this tube in half. I'm not gonna dig out the chop saw. I'll just do it by hand. Cut the ends off and maybe just round it off nicely. I'm not gonna go over the top making a dome. It would have been nice if I had something. Another thing that I wanted to make at some stage is a ball attachment for the lathe, the Myford lathe, and that could have been a project, making some little balls that I would have welded in there, but I haven't done that yet, so I'll just cap it off, round the edges off, just by hand, by grinder of course. Okay. At least you've got some sort of control. Nice. Okay guys, so I've welded it up. The battery died, but it wasn't that bad anyway. What you missed was you know, just a bit of welding. I have welded it up, happy with that. I'll just go around with the old flapper disc and sanding this and clean all of this up a little bit better. So there you have it guys, another clever suggestion from Mrs. Rusty. It's just to put it in the center, and it doesn't look that bad actually. I need to start looking at making this ashtray I was talking about. I'll go and dig out some sheeting I got. I could make it out of corrugated, which will look crappy I believe, because I don't really like the corrugated effect. I would like it to be smooth. It doesn't need to be heavy duty, it could be thin gauge. This is piece of metal is only really thin, really thin metal, but that's fine. Just a little pan to catch the ash. It shouldn't be overly hot anyway. And if it gets hot, who cares, it just needs to catch the ash. It's not quite deep enough. I would have liked about 22 inches deep, but this is only 16 3/4. I could bend that flat. It's an idea. I need 29 inches. I think I measured between the legs. I'll go and re-measure that at some stage, just to make sure that I've got it right. I usually forget so quick. Guys, you might say that I'm young, and I'm not that old. I've got high mileage, and this old ticker of mine, as you can see, it's worn. I drop stuff. It's worn. It doesn't always work as good as it. Because I'm thinking, like, I've got. Can you believe it? Of all of that angle iron, I've got 2 lengths left. Saying that, I think it got used for a really good purpose. So I'm not complaining. I'm quite happy with the progress and everything. Okay guys, there it is. You know what? You get those days where you think, you know, why did I do that? Why did I touch that? Tell you what, this sheeting on the bottom is just so old and knackered on the one side. On the other side is so thin, and it was just a mess. Try and patch it up. I decided, I carried on after the camera died, the battery died. I carried on a while. I try and patched it up. It's sort of okay-ish. I'm gonna keep an eye out for some better metal, some better sheeting, because that is just rubbish. For time being, that'd be okay, but I'll just keep in mind that I need to replace that. The rest of it I'm pretty happy with. So yeah, try and weld that. I mean, first of all, my welding in terms of sheeting material, oh sorry, the sun is very bright. My welding on sheeting, I don't have experience. I've watched these panel beaters, these car guys working on their panels and patching in panels and stuff. I'm sure my flux core welder is not set up right, I'm sure about that, but I fiddled around with it. But even with that, I'm struggling with that. I'm sheeting. Maybe you guys, you know, you would probably laugh at me for the silly mistakes I'm making, but I struggled. I ended up taking an arc welder, and even that, because it's so thin, I ended up digging out the really thin welding rods. It's just, I think it's 1.5 mil. It's really thin. That did better, but you know, I'm really not pleased with that tray on the bottom. I will replace that. It's not the frame. Frame is alright. I'll just clean the welds up and put a bit of sheeting in there at some stage. Hello guys, look at the lovely weather, nice and warm. Oh, the clouds are just beautiful. Nature. Oh, sorry, got you right in the sun. Guys, it's that time. Like I said earlier on, I had to take the motorbike for actually I haven't said that. I had to take the motorbike for service. My new Rebel, and I had to take it, otherwise the warranty would give me trouble later on. Anyways, what I said before, interrupting myself here, was that this pan is just a crap job. I'm gonna replace the bottom of it. That tin is too thin, way too thin. But here we go. First start, I want to see how this drawer, you know, the chimney and everything, and burn these grills clean so that we would be able to actually put meat on it. I don't think that's gonna happen tonight, but here we go, on camera. Now this is just an old pallet, timbers, old pallet that I've cut up. So it's just so you know, I've got some, actually 2 pallets I've cut up. But yeah, that burns alright for now. Anyways, it seems like all the smoke is going up. I can't see it on top yet, but yeah, there we go. Wonder what will happen. We'll see. It's sort of a test as well, because I mean, I built the whole thing on, you know, my guesstimation sizes, so it was all in my head really. So, but it came out pretty much as I wanted, with minor things. You know, you can see that distance there is not even, but the span is a bit warped. All the welding on the bottom, the plate warped out. Not too bothered. That will, the bit of heat that will drop, that's fine. So I just want to clean all of them grills clean, burn it clean before we put meat on it. That's it guys. Seems to be working, and it's drawing the smoke up nicely. It's going all mostly inside anyway. That's brilliant. Okay, have a good evening guys. Well, saying that, it's about 5:30. So all that tinging, don't worry about that. It's just metal stretching and finding its happy places. But thank you guys, that's it for the day. Thanks for all of you, and God bless.